you joined, like, what were you thinking about? What was your kind of motivation?
Well, there's several motivators for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to toughen up
Mm-hmm.
physically and mentally,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard that was a good way to start. And there's a couple guys that I grew up with in the neighborhood. They were a couple years older than me,
Mm-hmm.
and they were in the Marines. They were in Vietnam, though. They actually
Mm-hmm.
were on the ground in Vietnam. I always looked up to them because they were in a war zone, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, they got out alive. They were tough. They weren't afraid of anything. I remember seeing them in action. The educational aspect, GI Bill, it was, I felt Dad was in the war. I felt I should do my part, impress my dad, my family, and make him proud. And, you know, and initially it's intimidating, you know, until you start toughening up. You know, you can run 3 blocks when you first get there. Then all of a sudden you're running 10 miles. You know, in a matter of 2 months, you're running 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And Dad found that out too when he was in. He went through the same thing. Only you went in at 18, I believe.
Yeah.
You went in 18, and he would have been drafted in World War II, but he enlisted.
Yeah, I joined the Air Force.
Okay.
Yeah, Army Air Force.
He enlisted. That way you have some choice, you know, where you're going. If you get drafted, you're kind of at their mercy. And it was still that way in Vietnam too.
When you joined, what made you decide to join?
Well, I knew if I didn't join that, I'd be drafted. But I always wanted to fly in a plane, you know. So I joined the Army Air Corps.
Yeah.
That was great.
How did it make you feel about your country?
I met a lot of good friends there, and we are all in the same boat. I mean, we wanted to serve because that's what you did. As soon as you become 18, why, you'd be in the service pretty quick.
Yeah.
And like I say, I wanted to be able to fly, and I became a navigator bombardier. So
Okay.
I told the pilot where to go. Not literally.
How many people were on each crew?
We had 3, pilot, co-pilot. I was a navigator and bombardier, the combination.
He was playing 2 roles there.
Okay.
Different things happened to me that were really good. And probably the best one was when I got overseas, I was in the 389th Bomb Group. That was part of the 2nd Air Wing, and the officers were at our base. We had waitresses to wait on the tables for us at night, served as families down, you know. You didn't go through a line and get a scoop of potatoes. They gave you a bowl of them, you know.
That's because all the major officers of the unit were there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's small generals, and one in particular I remember, Jimmy Stewart.
Really?
He was there.
He was there in that unit, yeah.
That's amazing.
And I figured he was an old man because he was 36 years old.
Did you get the chance to talk to Jimmy Stewart?
Oh, yeah, I talked to him quite a bit. One time, the commander of our base was on the mission. I was on the same mission, but a German fighter smashed into his plane, and he was killed, of course.
Wow.
And he was a real good friend of Jimmy Stewart's. So when I landed, Jimmy Stewart was asking me about it. And I was showing him my log and everything, exactly where it happened, showed him on the map and everything. And he felt real bad. We talked just about an hour. But another thing too, another unusual thing. I flew 22 missions, and at our base, the average crew got shot down on the 13th mission. I remember that day when we were on our 13th mission, and we
Pretty
were
nervous.
we didn't say much, you know. We had to be quiet. And I can remember one thing with the radio man, is that during the Battle of the Bulge over there, that was at the end, and we were flying material to the people on the ground. This is a low-flying mission, probably about 200 feet off the ground or less.
Wow.
And we were flying over this part of Germany, and the radio man, he had like a bubble for a window, and he was looking out like this down there. And just a short time afterwards, the bullet came right up through there, then hit the back of the co-pilot seat. but he got it right.
Oh wow.
It was just,
That's a
it's
near
just a
miss.
matter of probably seconds or something.
Looking down there 1 minute, and then you step away, and then there's a bullet comes right through there.
Because the Germans or whoever's down there was shooting at us, you know.
You're
Yeah.
200, they were
With
200
rifles.
feet up, you know.
Yeah.
They were close to the ground, so you're getting all this ground fire. My dad doesn't outwardly talk about it, you know, that much, but if I ask him anything, he will talk to me, he'll answer me and give me a good answer, and if he talks with anybody about his time, it's usually me. He doesn't talk with maybe a lot of his friends about it.
I was proud of Mike for going into the Marines and everything.